15 minutes. I don't plan on taking that. Wanted to come and talk to you guys. I saw he expanded my topic. Originally it was just property rights, and now he's got me where I can talk about liberty and property rights, so we could be here all night. But I wanted to open up with a little bit of, everyone in this room probably agrees that we have less liberty than we had 5 years ago in the United States. Does anybody disagree? I would love to hear why, if you do. Hearing none. Madam Secretary. All right. Why are we losing our liberty, guys? Anybody want to take a guess? In the back?
Every law that takes place that's established liberty that's sliced away.
That's an excuse, but yeah, go ahead. What's up?
I was just going to say lawyers.
No. Exactly. We allow it. They can only take what we give them. Our complacency is what is allowing our liberties to be eroded. And this is actually one of the more intimidating speeches I get to give. I've spoken in bigger crowds and got paid for it, just saying. No, but this is actually intimidating because I know I'm speaking to the choir. It's like-minded individuals who understand liberty. Okay? So just to show you where we kind of fall asleep, bonus points for anybody who can tell me how many constitutional amendments, state constitutional amendments, were on the ballot last year and name them. I almost gave up the answer when I said it. 6. What were they? You gotta speak up, man. I'm deaf. Hunting and fishing. Yeah, speak. Use your big boy voice.
Income tax.
Income tax.
The Marcy's law.
Marcy's law. People's Rights Act. Yeah. We're at 3.
Board of Elections.
Board of Elections. More specifically, Board of Ethics.
Yes.
Okay. 4. Photo ID. 5. Hunting and fishing. Right. We are the cream of the crop of the liberty movement. How long did that take us? It's longer than we like, right? Just long enough for it to be uncomfortable. Okay? Even we're falling asleep. Imagine what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is just an echo chamber for the two major parties, right? We have to fight that. Our liberties get stripped away when we're quiet, when we're not fighting. So I want to talk to you guys about liberty, but we're going to look at it through the lens of property rights. Why property rights? Here in North Carolina, why? We don't know, right? Because we really haven't been tracking what the legislature is doing behind the scenes. We're listening to the news, we're getting distracted. All right? What are some examples of how our property rights are trampled on in North Carolina? I'm an interactive kind of speaker.
We're doing an Airbnb ban down in
Okay, they're telling you what you can do with your own property. These are big liberty softballs.
Eminent domain abuses.
Eminent domain. Civil asset forfeiture. There's 2. Get you rolling. What else? Property taxes. Occupational licensure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? What does the Constitution say about these things? What does the state constitution say about these things?
Don't know.
Don't know. How do we not know? How do we not know? I didn't come here to step on toes. I came here to wake people up. But how do we not know what our state constitution, our federal constitution say about these things? Property rights. What are we allowed to have and what is the government allowed to take from us?
It's going to be due process and just compensation for what they take.
Okay, so you went federal. What about state? Fun fact, North Carolina State Constitution does not mention property rights. It was presented as an amendment before. I don't even think it was presented on the floor. I think it was presented by somebody who was running for office who said Section 1, or Article 1, Section 38. If you look it up, there's only 37. But that was going to be his amendment, was to protect property rights in North Carolina. North Carolina Constitution does not protect property rights. Holy crap, right? Where do we find our property rights protected in the federal Constitution? You beat around it, but what is it?
Bill of Rights.
What part?
Fifth Amendment.
Fifth Amendment, right? But does it protect it?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, right? That's the government keeps sweeping in and taking it away from us. The one argument we have in North Carolina, I want you guys to remember this. Write it down if you have to. Article 1, Section 1. You don't even have to read that far into the Constitution. The state Constitution. Okay? It guarantees us the fruits of our labor. Airbnb, property taxes, civil asset forfeiture,
Income taxes?
income. Well, yeah, we can do that. I like that. All right. But I'm going to talk to you guys through the lens of eminent domain today. All right. I wrote a blog, op-ed, whatever you want to call it. Got me in a lot of heat with the Republicans. I'm a Republican. About eminent domain. Who's familiar with House Bill 3? Passed this year, February 27th. Nobody, right? Because they pass it every year. The House passes some form of eminent domain restriction, right? They call it rollback. And they pass it every year. The Republicans pass it every year. And it dies in the Senate every year. So nobody looks at it anymore. Guess what they did this year? They changed it.
It's like $800.
They didn't tell anybody they changed it. They just went through the normal routine, but they changed it. I brought a copy of it so you guys can read it. It's 2 pages long. It's not that long. Okay? I want you guys to read it. And when you read it, you'll understand why this is such a big deal in North Carolina. Okay? This passed with 94 yeas and 21 nays. How many people are in the Senate or in the House? Huh? 120. Okay? How many Republicans voted against it? 21 nays. How many Republicans voted against it?
2?
0.
Oh.
All the nays were Democrats that were voting along party line. That's it. They just wouldn't vote for it because it was a Republican bill. Otherwise, it would have been unanimous. All right. Now, what they sold it, the title of the bill, it's a constitutional amendment to be put on our Constitution to be voted for as a or to be put on the ballot to be voted by us as a constitutional amendment. They want to enshrine this in our state constitution. Okay? So this is a big deal. The title of the bill, I want to make sure I get it right. Hold on, I have to put my red flag gun law bill down. Oh well. Sure. All right. An act to amend the North Carolina Constitution to prohibit condemnation of private property except for a public use. To provide for the payment of just compensation with right of trial by jury in all condemnation cases to make similar statutory changes. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Man, I love that. What's the rule? If you like the title, you better read the bill. All right? If you like the title, read the bill. Okay? Because in the very first line, I've got it right here lined out, 9/11, all they do is they strike what's allowed to be taken by eminent domain. And they strike for public benefit, right? I don't know if you guys knew that, but our current law includes public use and public benefit. They strike public benefit. If they stop there, I'd be happy. That's a win. That's a move in the right direction. But they didn't stop there. All right, they go down and they have this section called public condemnatories. What's a public condemnator, guys? Anybody? Let's break it out English style. What's public?
Everybody.
Howdy, everybody, right? What is a condemnatory? Well, let's break that out. What's the root word? Condemn. What are they condemning? Property. Right? Why are they condemning property? Because they want it. Okay? So, down here, by whom right may be exercised? Section 4. Very first word. Somebody other than me read it for dramatic effect. You got it, Lance. What's the very first word, sir? Human right may be exercised.
Private condemners.
Yeah, first word.
Corporations.
One more time.
Corporations.
Corporations. And then it goes on to describe what kind of corporations qualify. To include natural gas pipelines, telecommunications industries, right? Some of them that loosely make sense if you support that, some of them that don't. We're not even to the dangerous part yet. At the very end, they add a brand new paragraph that's never been on this bill before. Okay? It's important that it's never been on this bill before. It says, we're still in section 4, subsection D. Connection of customers. For the public use, so we're defining public use now. Private condemnators, which include
Corporations.
all right, you guys are catching on. Local condemnators, which are local governments, and other public condemnators in this subsection. I'm skipping over a couple lines here because they're doing paragraph numbers. Shall possess the power of eminent domain and may acquire by purchase, gift, or condemnation any property for the connection of any customer or customers.
Wow.
Now, does that sound like a reduction or an expansion of eminent domain authority?
Expansion.
That's not even the government, that's also corporations, yeah.
Corporatocracy.
One more time for the people in the back.
It's not even just for government, it's for corporations. So you're basically creating an oligarchy in the state.
Now, if you're like me, and you don't really agree with the government being able to take your property because they want it, why on earth would I agree with the government in giving that authority to a private corporation?
That's fascism, isn't it?
But where's the blowback? How many of you guys have even heard about this bill before today? You read my blog?
Well, I've been aware of this sort of legislation for
Yeah.
years. So.
Right? It's completely under the radar. That doesn't happen by accident. That didn't just miracle itself into the bill. Right? That was by design. They keep putting it in until someone falls asleep. And when nobody's looking, they'll stick that on the ballot with a pretty title and we'll vote for it. Those 6 constitutional amendments we were talking about before, who knows what the bills actually said? They just gave you a pretty title, right? You get a pretty title. So I got in trouble during my campaign because I came out against 5 of the 6. The only one I supported was reduction in the tax title. That's it. It's the only one I supported. And I laid out why. Because I read the bills. You guys have to read the bills. We have to be vocal. Because I'm going around my district, I say my district, right? Like I'm running for something. But I go around my neighborhoods and I talk to people and I show them this and they have no idea this exists. And they're not happy about it. But nobody's told them. We have to tell them. That's how liberty grows. We have to be willing to stand in the gap and take the flak from the party. All right? I'm getting ready to be done. I don't know how much time I took, not much.
We're at about 14 minutes.
Okay. But I'm going to get on a soapbox here for a second because I want to end with this. Infighting is what kills the liberty movement. We fight against each other because I don't support open border immigration or I don't have as loose a drug policy as you or something like that that's insignificant. Meanwhile, we ally with parties, right? We want to protect the position we have within the party rather than fight for liberty. And the liberty movement is the one that suffers for that. Okay? I will align with anyone who stands against that because that is wrong. Okay? We have to get back to putting liberty and principles first, party second. Thank you guys.
Woohoo!
I'm going to hang out for a few minutes and then I'm going to
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Alan.
Can I take questions? I got a couple hands, or do you want me to?
Yeah, you can take questions if you want to.
Yes, sir.
It sounds really, really important, and I try to dig into these things as much as I can too, but to be honest,
I'm sorry, man. There are way too many explosions in Iraq, and I can't hear you.
I appreciate you bringing this to our attention. I try to keep up with the General Assembly, but it's hard to do. A lot of us to do it. Is there any way that we can, as a state Liberty Caucus, maybe send out a newsletter with updates on stuff that's going on that we need to be concerned about?
That's great, man. I'm not a top-all, end-all, be-all, but I have a website called alanchester.com, and I post a ton of stuff on there. That's a good starting point, all right? And then I can tie you in with other Liberty organizations, and you just got to work on educating yourself so that you can educate others.
And if I may add to that, also, David, I'm putting together a PR committee. We need to be putting out a newsletter at least quarterly. So anyone who wants to be on the PR and newsletter committee team, please let me know, because that'd be a great service to give to our members.
Yeah.
You said there's a referendum coming up on that?
Now, right now, it's stuck in committee in the Senate. I've got enough stink that now I've got committee members in the Senate saying they want to let it die. That's where you guys come in. Right? I'm one voice. And I've got them to where they're like, we're probably just going to let it die. You guys start calling them, put pressure on them too, I guarantee it dies. Which is choose first. I'm sorry. Yeah.
In your blog, you had mentioned that you
Somebody read my blog.
that you were awaiting, you had put in calls to John Locke and some of the
I did.
others. What did they end up saying? And did they ever get back in touch with you?
Yes. So I spoke with John Locke's legislative advisor, and I spoke with Sept as well. They have both acknowledged to me that while they see this as an expansion of eminent domain, they don't see it as significant. And I say significance is based off of your starting point. If you're uncomfortable with it in the beginning, then it's significant when it grows. So, sorry.
Which committee is it in?
I believe it's in the rules committee right now. If you read that, I will. If you go to my blog, there's a link. You just click on it and it'll take you to the bill. You can see what committee is sitting in right now. But if you shoot me a text message, I'll figure it out this afternoon and get back to you if you haven't done that. Yeah. Anybody else? No? Am I? No, I'm done. Thank you guys.